$150 million a day. That's what Russia is pocketing right now, not from some backroom deal, but from a decision made inside the White House. The Trump administration just eased oil sanctions on both Russia and Iran simultaneously, and for the first time in years, Republicans and Democrats agree on something. This is dangerous. But here's what nobody's telling you: the reason behind it affects your wallet directly. Here's the backstory you need. In early March 2026, the United States and Israel launched strikes against Iran. Within days, Iran retaliated by shutting down the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow waterway where 21 million barrels of oil pass through every single day. That's roughly 20% of the world's entire oil supply, gone overnight. Brent crude shot past $100 a barrel for the first time since 2022. Gas stations across America started updating prices by the hour. And suddenly, the administration faced a choice no one envied. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced a 30-day general license allowing the sale of approximately 128 million barrels of Russian crude oil already loaded on tankers at sea. The framing was careful: this was oil already in transit, not new production. Simultaneously, Iranian oil shipments already en route were also cleared for market entry. The administration called it narrowly tailored and temporary. But the scale tells a different story. 128 million barrels doesn't just stabilize a market, it reshapes one. Now here's where it gets politically explosive. This isn't just Democrats attacking a Republican president. Senators from both sides went public. Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer accused Trump of directly enriching Vladimir Putin. Senate Democrats issued a formal statement saying this move funds Russia's war machine while American soldiers operate in the same theater where Russia is reportedly helping Iran target U.S. forces. Read that again: we are easing sanctions on a country that is actively helping our enemy shoot at us. And it wasn't just Washington. European leaders lined up to condemn the move. Ukrainian President Zelensky warned that this could hand Russia a $10 billion windfall, money that would directly fund the war against his country. French President Macron, German Chancellor Merz, the UK Prime Minister's office, even European Council President Costa, all of them publicly rebuked the United States. The Center for American Progress called it a betrayal of Ukraine. In 12 days, Urals crude had already jumped from $40 to over $100 a barrel. Russia didn't need new wells. They just needed America to open the door. But here's the part the administration doesn't want scrutinized. The 30-day license can be extended. And once oil flows, shutting it off again creates the exact same price shock you were trying to prevent. Think tanks and market analysts are warning this could become a de facto permanent rollback of sanctions, disguised as emergency relief. Russia knows this. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov and energy official Kirill Dmitriev openly welcomed the decision, calling it, quote, necessary for global energy stability. When your adversary thanks you for your policy, that should tell you something. So what does this actually mean for you? In the short term, gas prices may dip. That's the whole point: flood the market with enough supply to bring costs down before the midterms. But the long-term math is brutal. Every dollar Russia earns from these sales funds military operations. Every barrel of Iranian oil that clears customs weakens the credibility of American sanctions worldwide. And here's the larger trend nobody is naming: this is the third time in modern history a U.S. president has eased sanctions on an adversary during a military conflict to manage domestic energy prices. It's becoming a pattern. And patterns become policy. The sanctions were supposed to be America's sharpest weapon, a way to punish aggressors without firing a shot. Now that weapon is being holstered mid-fight, while the enemy watches, profits, and waits for the 30-day clock to run out. The question nobody in Washington can answer is this: if you lift sanctions every time oil gets expensive, do you really have sanctions at all? Follow now, because this story is moving faster than anyone expected, and what happens in the next 30 days could redraw the rules of American power.